This is WKYT News at 6:30 on the CW Lexington.
Good evening. We're live here on the CW Lexington. I'm Sam Dick.
And I'm Jennifer Palumbo. A major ruling today from the state Supreme Court about Governor Matt Bevin's cuts to higher education. Coming up in this half hour, we're going to be talking to Dr. Stephen Voss, a UK professor, about what this ruling means for universities across Kentucky.
It involves millions and millions of dollars, and the universities and colleges obviously were not happy with the fact that they had to take that out of their budget. So now it looks like they may get the money, although right now he's got 20 days to do that. So we'll see. It keeps changing.
We'll sort it all out. We'll break it down for you.
All right, trending right now, creepy clowns. This has been in the news all week, making appearances across the state. Police in Pulaski County received a complaint about 3 people in clown costumes, and a driver spotted them on the side of the road in the Greenville area.
Also trending right now on WKYT.com, the Kentucky Supreme Court overruling the governor's higher education cuts. We'll have more on that ahead. And also more on the clowns. Southern Kentucky police telling the creepy clowns to go home.
Here's what we're following right now at 6:30. Police have arrested 3 people after reports of gunfire near EKU's campus. We have an update on the possible motive behind that incident.
This is it. I mean, the Supreme Court has spoken, and when the Supreme Court speaks on the law, it's final.
The Kentucky Supreme Court ruling against Governor Matt Bevin's cuts to higher education. Find out the impact the decision will have on public universities and colleges.
And 3 people charged on the murder of a Kentucky National Guardsman appeared in court this morning. We'll find out what's next for that case.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joining us now, and our dry weather continues. But you know what this is actually good weather for?
What's that?
The construction crews who are working on their projects. We have some video to show you right now that Officer Don shot. Crews working on the new summit at the Fritz Farm Shopping Center. Officer Don flew over the site this afternoon. The summit, complete with stores, restaurants, and apartments, is expected to open in the spring. This is the kind of weather that those construction crews hope for. No rain, even though we need rain.
And they also, if they were being really greedy, Chris would say, hey, let's just make it even a little bit cooler, which eventually we'll get to, right?
Yes. Yeah, we'll get them some cooler weather next week. But, you know, and not just that, but road construction as well. Right. You know, I'm over off Todd's Road area, and, you know, they're 4-laning that right now. And it's been a long process. So I'm like, dry weather, let's get her done, right?
Get her done.
Yeah, get out there.
Fired up.
And we're doing some work. Now we just want to get that cooler weather on into town. We've got that coming up as we go through roughly the next week and change. Just be patient, as we were saying yesterday. Patience will eventually pay off. But that hot, dry weather continues across central and eastern Kentucky. Live sky cam coming out of Jackson, southeastern Kentucky, where we're starting to see a little hint of some color. A little color in Lexington, more green than anything else, though, outside of that big blue sky over top of the area. Mid and upper 80s as you're heading out and about on a Thursday evening. Maybe you've got a little soccer game to go to. Maybe you got some middle school, grade school football action. Should be in pretty good shape for those games, and similar setup as we go into the day tomorrow night. Defender Radar Network, I don't have to tell you it's quiet. We can't find a cloud in the sky in many areas of central and eastern Kentucky. Here's the battle zone, though. You've got summer, you've got fall. Both of those kind of fighting it out right now, putting down a tremendous amount of rain to our north and northwest. Eventually, though, this pattern will give way to some much cooler air that will surge into the bluegrass state. But we got to wait until next week after more sizzle for this mid-September weekend. Guys, that 7-day forecast finally looks the part of fall when I come back in just a matter of minutes.
Chris, thank you. 3 people are in jail tonight in Madison County after reports of gunfire near Eastern Kentucky University.
The school sent out a safety alert early this morning telling students and faculty to take cover and avoid campus. Police say it all started as a fight at a bar in downtown Richmond and ended with 3 people in custody. The story at 6:30.
Employees at the Copper Steel Bar in Richmond say Wednesday nights they tend to host a lot of students, but a night of fun turned into a night of panic for students on campus.
They had a large crowd and they got out with a disturbance there, some type of disturbance.
One witness says the fight happened right outside of Copper Steel in a parking lot a little after 1 this morning.
While they were clearing the crowd, they started hearing gunshots in the area.
Police contacted EKU and they decided to send out a school-wide alert. A spokesperson for the university said when an incident occurs close to campus, they usually send out an alert about it. Police were later able to track down the suspected shooters.
They located a vehicle fitting the description.
They then arrested 23-year-old Dante Hill and 21-year-old Tyler Brand. 21-year-old Anthony Gerald fled the scene, but police were able to catch up with him a short time later, and then they arrested him. Police say the men aren't students at the university. They say they're glad no one was injured in the shooting.
It got everything under the control before it got out of hand, so, you know, we had to help with the other two agencies, with everybody working together as a team. We think we prevented something bad from happening. So,
at this time, police say they have not talked to the students involved in the fight. In Richmond, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Police say they're still searching for the gun. They say they did find shell casings on the suspect's car and unused ammunition inside of it.
Traffic is back to normal tonight near Lexington's Bryan Station High School. A gas leak this afternoon on Easton Road caused a traffic mess. The school system evacuated Bryan Station High School and the neighboring middle school early because of the gas leak. The students went to the football field before they were allowed to leave.
Today, 3 people pled guilty for their part in a 2014 murder. And Lamont Wilkerson are charged in the shooting death of Amber Cottle in Clark County. She died after a bullet fired into her apartment from the apartment above. The 3 men said they were robbing the people in that apartment. Lillian Barnett is charged with driving the 3 men.
Was Lillian Barnett standing there watching you with your assault rifle, Mr. Staley with his revolver, and both of you everybody putting their gloves on? Yes. So she observed all of that.
Lillian Barnett will be back in court in January for a status hearing in her case.
3 people charged in the murder of a Kentucky National Guardsman appeared in court this morning. Jeremy Harris, Christy Hanley, and Justin Sloan are charged in connection to the murder of Trevor Dilger. Dilger's body was found over Labor Day weekend in a burning car near the Fayette-Woodford County line. All 3 of the cases were waived to the grand jury. Dilger graduated from Dunbar High School and was a member of the 1st Battalion, 149th Infantry.
Fayette County Schools just received the all clear today after a summer of work to get radon out of the school buildings. Last fall, testing was done on all 58 Fayette County school buildings. 9 buildings came back with levels of radon higher than EPA recommendations for schools. 2 radon companies worked this summer to outfit the 9 schools with radon mitigation systems.
Each school is unique in its design and layout, so that's why it takes a lot of time to plan and to sort of design a system that's going to abate the radon.
The system helps ventilate air out of the building.
The Laurel County jailer is trying to put an end to the creepy clown trend, one mask at a time. Yesterday, the jailer caught several teenagers trying to scare drivers, so he took their masks and sent them home. The jailer says some have criticized his actions for seizing the mask, but he says he confiscated it because he feared for the safety of the teen and drivers.
The Kentucky Supreme Court overrules the governor's higher education budget cuts. UK political science associate professor Dr. Stephen Voss joins us after the break to break down the political process of that decision.
Kentucky is getting ready for South Carolina without quarterback Drew Barker. Dave Baker looks ahead to Saturday's SEC showdown in the Sports Buzz.
Welcome back to WKYT News at 6:30 here on the CW Lexington.
Victory today for Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear. The Democrat sued Republican Governor Matt Bevin over his $18 million in cuts to higher education. And today, the Kentucky Supreme Court sided with Beshear and ruled the governor did not have the authority to slash college budgets. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner looks at what the ruling means.
This is it. I mean, the Supreme Court has spoken, and when the Supreme Court speaks on the law, it's final.
Attorney General Andy Beshear said Thursday the Commonwealth is going to be a lot better off. His comment comes after the state Supreme Court answered 2 questions in this case. It said Beshear was within his rights to question Governor Bevin and said Bevin wasn't within his rights when he issued an executive order to slash funding at public colleges and universities.
This governor is all about cutting the red tape, and this case is over. So I'm calling on him to cut that red tape and go ahead and immediately provide these funds to our universities. They desperately need them. They can use them. And in the end, it'll help Kentucky families, whether it's the students or the faculty.
$18 million will go back to schools across the state, a decision the governor still doesn't support. His office released a statement saying the Attorney General clearly does not understand the severity of the pension problem, which became the nation's worst funded plan under the watch of his father's administration.
It's rare for a case of this magnitude to get to the Supreme Court involving the governor of the Commonwealth. It is not rare for an attorney general and a governor to be at odds. We saw that in the Fletcher administration 10 years ago.
The decision in this case, though, sets a precedent for the future.
This sets limits on the governor's ability to change a budget after the state legislature has enacted it.
Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
To help us break down this news, we have Dr. Stephen Voss, Associate Professor of Political Science at UK. He's also a Harvard University graduate. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So why do you think the justices were convinced that the governor overstepped his bounds when it came to these cuts?
You know, we usually process court cases as win or loss, like it's a sporting event. But when the justices have to make rulings on this, they have a whole series of things they need to decide. Who can sue? When can they sue? When can a governor do things? It's really a lot more complicated than usually it comes across to the public.
This has been a battle between a Democratic Attorney General and a Republican governor. Are there politics at play here in this decision?
Courts are political bodies. We like to think it's just about the law, but they're political bodies. But they're not political in the way legislatures are, where the Democrats go one way, the Republicans go the other. And in fact, if you look at the way the justices split, it doesn't really map out with who appointed them, whether a Republican governor appointed them or a Democratic governor. They have to worry about all these other things, like a ruling they make against a Republican governor today may hurt a Democratic governor later, right? And something they do that helps a Democratic Attorney General today might help a Republican Attorney General later. So it's a lot more complex for them than it is when it's a legislature sort of breaking it down over a budget.
Obviously, this decision is good news for the universities, but what are the broader implications? What message does this decision send, do you think?
Well, what's interesting about the part of the decision that asked whether Bevin could do what he did is they set it up in a way that was very specific to universities. And they made clear, we're not challenging the governor's general ability to cut budgets when there's a deficit, when there's a shortfall in the funds. So they limited the scope pretty well on that. Where it has broader implications, I think, is that they essentially said the Attorney General can sue, that someone else doesn't have to come in, like the universities come in and sue over an issue like this. That is, the chief legal officer of the state, the Attorney General, can sue himself. And that could have some implications if he starts suing on other things later.
Dr. Stephen Voss from the University of Kentucky, we know you're a busy man. We appreciate your time tonight and your insight.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. And here's what's next in the higher education budget battle. The governor has 20 days to appeal the ruling, or the money he withheld must be released to the colleges and universities. The one-time payments range from $5.6 million for the University of Kentucky to less than $1 million for Morehead State University. You can read the full ruling. Just go to WKYT.com or look inside the WKYT News app.
This is the 10-year anniversary this week of a tragedy in Lexington. It was 10 years ago this week, Chris, that there was flash flooding in Lexington, and specifically at a bad place. And this was on Nicholasville Road near Alumni, near the UK campus.
Right.
Two young ladies, the flash flooding hit Friday night, but two young ladies early Saturday morning got out of a taxi cab. And they were washed away to their deaths. Chris Bailey, our chief meteorologist now, was in the newsroom and at the station here pretty much by himself Friday night through Saturday, and you pretty much lived this experience from your vantage point here.
I did. I was here by myself. We had a master control operator that was in charge of getting me on air to give the latest watches warnings. I decided to stay after the 11 o'clock that night because I had at least an inclination things could get bad.
Sure.
And obviously you get 6 inches of rain in 3 or 4 hours, and that is indeed what we had on that particular night. And that produced massive flooding across the Lexington area and surrounding areas. One of the bigger flash floods events that we've ever had into the Lexington area, and that, Sam, was just devastating flooding.
Well, you kept us on the air through the night, and even went up to the newsroom and heard on the scanner that these two young ladies were in trouble.
Exactly right. What I would do at on that particular night, I would keep the radar loop going for people, and I think we may have been the only ones on in the entire area that particular night, all night long. I would keep the radar on, and I would run up to the newsroom wearing a microphone like I am now, and I would turn it off, and I would tell people, hey, I'm going to turn this off a minute. I'm going to make some calls to see what I can find. And then I'd go into the newsroom, and as soon as I walk in, I hear the report about the two young ladies that had been swept away. And I started making calls, and I would even just turn my mic on and start talking from the newsroom, giving updates on what I was hearing at that particular
And they've made
time.
changes in that area to hopefully keep that from happening again, but good work on your part trying to at least keep people aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
Always be aware, right?
It was 10 years ago tonight.
Yeah.
10 years ago tonight. We picked up almost 6 inches of rain in 4 hours, and we fast forward, obviously, tonight. Things are much, much calmer than what we were talking about then on this same day last year when we had showers and 10 years ago when we had showers and thunderstorms that were on and off. Skycam, beautiful conditions out there, 88 degrees, humidity at 34% right now in Lexington. Everybody into the 80s across the region. Humidity, though, continues to be way, way down there. Summer continues to steal the show from fall. Weekend looks good, albeit on the sizzly side. And then some big changes start to show up as we go into next week, and that is a pattern that will feature a big dip in the jet stream across the plain states into the eastern part of the country. And that type of a setup can unleash some much cooler air. Finally, that is a big change from where we've been, because where we are now is all this red that is now into the mid-Atlantic states and out into the Atlantic Ocean. That's because the jet stream is taking that big dip, and it's going to push that air to the east, replacing it by a cooler brand of air coming out of Canada. And we may also see what is known as a cutoff low try to develop across the Ohio Valley. That would give us a threat for a shower or thunderstorm second half of Monday into Tuesday, and maybe a shower chance middle of next week. But you're going to look at that forecast. Two things are going to jump out at you. You're going to see 90 tomorrow and Saturday. Then you're going to look ahead and see 69 and 68 degrees next Wednesday and Thursday.
Actually, this weekend would be a good time to hit the pool if there's one open on Saturday.
Oh, yes. Without question. And, you know, and just looking at that, I just realized we go from 90 tomorrow, and I've got 45 next week. So we cut the 90 exactly in half.
It's a big swing.
That is a big swing, yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, guys.
Dave Baker joins us with the Sports Buzz next.
It is time now for the Sports Buzz. Each night we will talk with Mr. Dave Buzz Baker for an inside look at what is going on. So much going on with UK football, and the big issue the last week obviously has been the status of the starting quarterback Drew Barker. All of a sudden, what's happened?
Well, that's true, Sam, and we heard that injury yesterday where Mark Stoops said he was going to be out for a significant amount of time, and you say it's been for the last week. That's what we thought, but apparently it's been going on for a lot longer, and that speaks to the seriousness of it. What I'm told by folks is that a hit he took last week at Florida was maybe more significant, but again, we've talked about it before. As you see this here, it's like he's limping off, and some folks thought it might have been a knee injury. I'm told he didn't have any feeling in his lower extremities, and that's the real concerning thing. And so what they're going to do now is they're going to take a look at this for 3, 4, 5 weeks, see if there's any improvement, and then make a decision on surgery. The concerning thing is not only about this year, but beyond that, because how many guys do you know that are like they used to be if they had back surgery, much less playing major college football?
Well, we certainly wish him well.
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
the guy stepping in who did a great job stepping in is Mr. Stephen Johnson, who a lot of fans really don't know that much about.
Well, that's because he hadn't been around all that much. He didn't get here until January. And remember, it was Darren Henshaw who came in with Eddie Grant who got him, because Patrick Tolles transferred about 2 weeks after these guys got here. And so he's playing out in California, and he was playing out there at Rancho Cucamonga, California.
There you go.
He went to Grambling originally. He was kind of overlooked. And so when Henshaw got here, he took a look at 20 to 25 quarterbacks. He liked this guy and brought him in here. So now he's going to be the starter. And then Gunnar Hoke, who was the outstanding freshman that they signed, they're probably going to end up taking the red shirt off of him now. He's going to have to be ready to go. And the only other quarterback they got is this kid from Cincinnati, who was like their third or fourth stringer, who they brought here simply to teach these quarterbacks the terminology and help with the system installation.
Johnson looked great against New Mexico State. Can he look that good against a Southeastern Conference foe like South Carolina? We'll find out.
Great question. We'll talk about that some more tomorrow.
Mark Stoops.
Yes.
Crucial fourth year.
No, crucial game. Crucial game.
Yeah.
And then the thing about what happens with Mark Stoops is a couple of different things. You don't know what Mitch Barnhart said to him in terms of, okay, this is what you're going to be evaluated on. And so the question that people have been asking me today now is, how does this affect that? Does it speed up the evaluation process, the Barker injury? Does it slow it down, or does it put it off totally? And it's a fair question to ask, how can you evaluate him based on the fact that his starting quarterback isn't there? So you can ask that question, but certainly he was not happy with his defense yesterday. So just one of many questions still out there, Sam.
Nothing against Gunnar Hoke, but everybody in that stadium Saturday night is going to be going, please, please, no injuries for Stephen.
And I think Gunnar Hoke is probably saying that too, because he'd like to keep that red shirt on.
All right, thanks, Buzzy. We'll head tonight here on the CW Lexington Lexington. An hour of Family Feud is next. Then at 8, The Flash, followed by Supernatural at 9.
And over on WKYT, a half-hour Wheel of Fortune at 7. How about NFL kickoff at 7:30? And then Thursday Night Football. How about J.J. Watt taking on the quarterback-poor New England Patriots? 2 undefeateds tonight at 8. News first at 11:30.
Take a look at this. The owner of an Anderson County car dealership was honored today for his good works, but he finished his big day with another good deed.
This is great. Ron McCauley, the owner of Chrysler of Lawrenceburg, was honored by the Secretary of State's office with the Corporations for the Commonwealth Award. It's for his support of local veterans. And after receiving his award, McCauley paid it forward. He ended up donating a Ford Fiesta to a local veteran in need of a vehicle. What a great gesture.
Very gracious prayer. Please welcome Colonel Brewer, who is here this morning also.
All right, Chris Bailey stepping in. Many of you don't know this about Chris, but sometimes at night, before he gets out of his dinner break, he takes a walk around the station for exercise.
If you drive by Winchester Road, you'll just see him wandering around.
Another beautiful night for that, if you
and
want
you'll
to
see
do
me.
that.
That's why I got the kicks on a lot of times. Huh?
Kentucky Blue.
I make my laps around this bad boy out here, and I get my steps in. Thank you, Fitbit. We are going to see 90-degree temperatures again tomorrow and Saturday. It gets a whole lot better as we roll our way into next week. So good news, you just got to be patient.